Hello! Perfidious Pete here, back to observe the aftermath of Great-Grandma Edie's campaign of steady torture in what remains of Edith Finch. And I'm sorry, Great-Grandma Edie, I respect you as my ancestor, but you know what? I also feel like it's time that we just called a spade a spade. Great-Grandma Edie, you were a bad mom. A bad mom, like really, really shitty at it. Not only did you let your drunken 11-year-old alcoholic son kill himself on a swing set, you then forced your remaining sober son to live in a shrine to the dead kid's memory for like the next 7 years. Good Lord, it's no wonder that Great-Grandpa Sam ran off to join the Marine Corps at literally the first opportunity he got. Who wouldn't choose the possibility of getting bathed in Agent Orange or fried by napalm or shot in the heart against the certainty of spending another damn day being surrounded by a giant shrine to the memory of your dead brother? Plus, I gotta say, the guy was 18 when he left. This was arguably his high school room. How are you ever gonna get laid in high school when the other half of your bedroom looks like this? And also, is this freaking creepy? Because in theory, that girl you were wooing at high school and trying to be like, hey, baby, why don't you come up to my room? Maybe take a look around. I got some records we could listen to. You know, that girl probably was in grade school with you, and she probably knew your brother. And then she walks in and sees you in this. You are never, ever gonna score, man. Ever. You did a bad thing, Great-Grandma Edie. You ruined Grandpa Sam's life. You really did. In fact, I know why he went to Nam, because he didn't care if he died. There are many fates worse than death, and a sexless decade in this bedroom, I think it's one of them. Grandpa Sam spent the majority of his formative years enduring a fate worse than death. Also, I'm just going to throw this out here. Am I the only one to sort of notice that everybody in the Finch family is, like, kind of horrible? I'm not talking cartoonishly evil like, oh, I murdered an entire village full of innocents because I thought it was funny. Corporal Kurtz kind of evil. Well, I mean, except for Molly, who I guess was, in fact, Kurtz kind of evil. But except for Molly, the rest of the Finches seem terrible in sort of a more subtle way. And that, actually, I think is more disturbing. Because cartoonishly evil is easily observed and thus easily avoided. But this subtle evil, this is insidious, man. This is the kind of evil that just works behind the scenes like a cancer, slowly gnawing away at everything that is good and destroying it from the inside. I gotta get out of this room. I'm sorry, I can't be in here anymore. I really can't. Although, you know what? The discarded liquor bottles in the secret tunnel into Sam's room, I suppose doesn't necessarily mean that Calvin was an alcoholic. It could be that Sam was driven to alcoholism in his later years because, you know, of the said sexless decade that he spent living in his dead brother's shrine. And then again, you know what? Let's play devil's advocate here and go full worst case scenario.
The were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Yeah, it was definitely for Calvin and Sam. But here's the other. Let's play devil's advocate a minute before Edie interrupted me here. Not cool, by the way, Edie. What's this? Oh, did we ever? Oh, we never made it up there because that place was closed off, right? There are sealed rooms behind sealed rooms in the Finch family. Man, there is some wacky shit going on here. But I got to finish my devil's advocate analogy. So let's think of this in the worst possible scenario. It wasn't that Calvin's death drove Sam to alcoholism. It's that Calvin was himself an 11-year-old drunk, killed himself in a drunken swing set accident, and then Great-Grandma Edie's campaign of steady psychological torture actually drove Grandpa Sam into also becoming an alcoholic because it was the only way he could try and fucking escape the pain. He had to try and drink away the horror. I kind of feel like maybe that was it. And again, what do we got here? More empty whiskey bottles. What a shock. And Grandpa Sam had a problem. And you're saying, Pete, well, Grandpa Sam had a drinking problem? No, I said he had a problem. Well, okay, if he had a drinking problem, technically he had more than one problem. One of his problems was a drinking problem. The other problem was his mother. That was his main... Yeah, like, this place is closed off, so we can't go up there. His main problem was that his mother was goddamn horrible. Did we looked in this room, right? This is just a bathroom. Why does this say Gregory? We were in this room, but we didn't find out anything about anybody named Gregory. This is just a dumper. I kind of want to go back in here now because I feel like maybe there's something I overlooked. Also, hey, wait a minute. What remains of Edith Finch? Hold on a second. We opened up a secret passage behind that toilet, thank you. Why is that secret passage not open when I look in the peephole? I cry shenanigans. You're reusing that same static image. That's not cool, development company. Actually, I'm not firing shots at Giant Sparrow. I mean, I am, but I fire those shots in good nature because actually I've really been enjoying What Remains of Edith Finch. I think it's a really good game. So we can crawl back into the wine cabinet. Oh, we're crawling inside of a wine cabinet. Well, it's a common fate for any member of the Finch family. Let's just drown our sorrows. I'm going to crawl inside of a whiskey bottle. So we get to go to Barbara's room, the child celebrity who was in My Friend Bigfoot. All right, I'm sure this story won't end horribly. You know what? We're going to go in here and find out that they used an actual Bigfoot in the filming of My Friend Bigfoot, and that Barbara was the person who killed him. She probably captured a Bigfoot. I mean, this is set in the Pacific Northwest. She captured a Bigfoot, sold him to Hollywood, and her one stipulation for the My Friend Bigfoot starring actual Bigfoot movie was that she got to be cast in the leading role of the little girl. Why does everything have drawings and say Milton on it? Did Milton actually do these drawings? Is that what it is? And why does Barbara have a bra here? She was like a 12 when she died. Right? Was the...
Growing
Hold
up,
on a minute.
I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Yeah, then what's with the really large bra? This is like a 50s era rocket bra a la Madonna in the Material Girl tour. How old were you when you died, Barbara? Okay, I mean... Wait, she was 16. This clothing does not seem fully appropriate for a 16-year-old. That's a pretty aggressive underwire structure for a 16-year-old. Did you die? Now I'm curious about Grandma Barbara's fate. Well, she's not really our grandma. She would have been like our great-great-aunt or something. I'm a little murky on the relationship specifics. Also, she was apparently a waitress. She worked at a diner. That looks like your classic 50s sort of not quite wearing a wedge cap because I'm a lady sort of outfit, though, right? Oh, we could climb. I don't want to climb back in it, though. I want to get out. What's this? Laundry detergent? Suds. Wow, there's never been a more generic brand name for laundry detergent than what we've got working here with Suds. They should have just called it generic detergent. That actually would have been a less generic name. Well, let's go find Bigfoot's corpse then. I'm sure Grandma has his herb. I keep calling her Grandma. Everybody's my grandma. It's great Grandma Edie. But I'm pretty sure that Barbara has Bigfoot's bones stored somewhere in here. It's like the Elephant Man's bones. She's not just going to let those go. My Friend Bigfoot starring Barbara Finch and Bill Bunton as Bigfoot. Little known fact, the Sasquatch's last name actually was just Bill Bunton. He was like, yeah, I just got a genetic disorder. I'm not a Sasquatch. I'm a person, thank you. I just happen to have an affliction. I don't appreciate you persecuting me and forcing me to live in the woods. Introducing Barbara Finch with My Friend Bigfoot. What is that in her left hand? What is that doll holding? Or is that just... Oh, wait, that is her hand. I thought she was holding a human bone. What awards did Grandma win? 1946 something? I can't tell. Also, why does it look like there are pseudo Oscars? I can't imagine My Friend Bigfoot won an Oscar. Just no, I refuse. Sweet Bigfoot mask. Probably some old fan letters. Yep. Okay. That's, it's a nice frilly frock. I bet Aunt Barbara would have looked good in that. Also, the whole Barbara instead of Hollywood thing. Seattle Ballet Company presents Swan Lake at the Belltown Theater. Was Barbara a ballerina? Also, did she play guitar? You see, there's a git box. It's missing a string. Oh no, never mind. I thought it was missing. Wait, is it missing a string? No, they're all there. Gonna restring Grandma Barbara's guitar. I can see that Barbara was really enthused with like her one accomplishment.
For her afterwards.
So what? We got like a Macaulay Culkin sort of thing going on. She had the biggest hit in the world in 1946, and everything after that was all terrible and awful because shit, who doesn't want to grow up wealthy with the knowledge that they'll never need to work a day in their life if they don't want to? Yeah, that must be a real tough road to hoe. Barb Street. Also, Barbara, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but your room is fucking filthy, girl. Couldn't you clean this shit up a little bit? You got crap everywhere. Also, wait a minute. Is this... Well, now this just doesn't make sense. This is one of those cookie birthday cakes with, by the way, 16 candles on. She's got 16 candles. Do you think that maybe Jake Ryan came over and kissed her at the end? Do you think she got her happy ending with Jake Ryan? That at the end of the movie, when after they burned the candles on this cake, that she walked out and her dad came out and said, oh, and she made the "this is the boy" motion, and then dad gave her the big okay sign, and she got into his Porsche and they drove away and lived happily ever after? Probably not. I don't think Porsches existed in the 50s. Also, here's the other thing. If they gave Grandma Barbara this cake on her 16th birthday, Grandma Barbara died in 1960, which makes this cake roughly 57 years old. I'm thinking there'd be some mold, mildew, and other degradation that would have gotten to this would not still be here. This would be some, like, moldy remnants of a stain, probably infected with so much microbacteria that it would have eaten a hole through the desk or at least dissolved the cookie and taken the cardboard with it. At best, this would be a horrifically odorous stain. At best. The Seattle Starlets? Also, why are there post-it notes on Barbara's wall? She died in 1960. There can't be post-it notes. They didn't exist back then. They hadn't invented that sort of glue yet. Got some idiosyncrasies here, Edith Finch. Maybe, oh, Pete, somebody could have just come in later and put the post... I mean, you're not wrong. Perhaps Barbara didn't write these post-it notes. Maybe Edith's mother did it, but... why would she put favorite on a leaflet for the Seattle Starlets from her dead... I don't know what she would have been. Her dead aunt, I guess? Whom she never even would have known, by the way. You really gonna come in here and mark all this stuff as favorite for a person you didn't know? Really? Especially when this room would have been sealed to you as growing up as a child? I do like the clock, though. Oh, Edith, you gotta steal this, man. It's vintage. That is one of those vintage cat clocks. You could sell this bitch on eBay. That's like $2,000 just sitting there hanging on the wall. You gotta take it, Edith. Now's your chance. An entrepreneurial empire awaits you, selling off your dead family members' old garbage. You could start a vintage shop. You would make so much money. You could get rich off of your dead relatives. They're never gonna miss it. You're the last scion of the Finch family, too. Think about that. All of this stuff is good. Also, this popcorn should be hideously... Hideously? Is that a word? I think I was going for like a portmanteau of hideous and horribly. Or horrifically? Horrideously? Did I do a triple portmanteau? I don't know. I got to go have myself get a CT scan and see if I don't have some brain damage in my Wernicke's area. Nice to see Grandma, well, Great-Aunt Barbara, rather, Great-Great-Aunt Barbara, keeping a nice sixer under the bed. Once again, reinforcing the fact that the Finches really need to join a 12-step program. No wonder Calvin was an alcoholic at 11. Barbara was hiding beer under her bed at 16, although, you know, I gotta say, one six-pack doesn't necessarily indicate that Barbara was a wino like her 11-year-old brother. Is that the only source of liquor we've got in this room? She just has the one stash of liquor, and it's not even well hidden. Unlike Sam, who was using his robot to stash secretive liquor bottles. Yeah, it looks like 16-year-old Barbara just had one single six-pack of suds tucked under her bed. Well, no, that's not true. She had one single six-pack of beer and what appears to be a 32-ounce bottle of suds in her toy chest. But she also apparently worked at some sort of... It's got to be... What movie? So the 3D glasses in a uniform tend to indicate that Barbara was perhaps working as a hostess at a movie theater or something. But then why the roller skates that are in the same bubblegum pink and blue pattern as the uniform? Penelope's what? Penelope's diner. Oh, it was a diner. Okay, well, I mean, that explains the roller skates then. I suppose that's okay. Also the wedge cap. Wow, from Hollywood superstarlet to waitress, Barbara must have been deeply unhappy. Do you think a combination of drink and unhappiness is what led her to take her own life? There's only one way to find out. Let's check it out. Dreadful stories. Yeah, why do I have a feeling? Well, I mean, it says starring Barbara Finch, does it not? Yep, starring Barbara Finch. Well, so far, every single story of every single member of the Finch clan has been pretty dreadful. Why should great-great-aunt Barbara's be any different? Let's check it out.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Featuring Old Jack, who appears to be some sort of pumpkin man? He is, in fact, a pumpkin man. Old Jack here with another ghastly tale.
Another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Hey, pumpkin man, could you just stop with this and go fully embrace the Crypt Keeper? As a child, Barbara was famous for her scream. I mean, you may as well just fully embrace it here, dude. If you're gonna rip off the Crypt Keeper, at least do it right.
But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movies.
You know, I don't want to fire shots, but I'm pretty sure the Beasticon convention of 1960s had nothing to do with horror films and everything to do with people dressing up in furry outfits and fucking. It's the proto-evolution of the furry movement. Beasticon 1916. Dress up like a horse and get fucked by a stranger.
Current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Why does Rick have crutches? Actually, why are there crutches in the background?
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room.
Well, he was a Finch. I'm surprised he didn't cut his own throat, honestly.
Her youngest brother, Walter.
Okay, Barbara was babysitting Walter. So they both died then?
But I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
They didn't even get 1960s radio announcer voice guy right.
Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in
Also because of the hideous tortures of the Finch family, by the way. We gotta keep them locked in the basement. Great Uncle Willie is down there, and if we let him out, it's only a matter of time before he summons the King in Yellow, Hastur, and all of our souls wind up devoured and everybody on Orca Island is dead.
So Barbara went to look for him, right?
Yeah, well, she sent him down to the basement and the King in Yellow got him. Don't summon Hastur, that's the rule.
She reached for the music box.
Am I supposed to be reaching for the music box? Or will Barbara eventually get to it if... No, she's definitely not. Okay.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick.
Aha! That's a key! We can get in the basement now. Alright. So this did uncover the mystery. Are we supposed to go down the basement? Oh. This is actually really cool! Okay, you know what? The Crypt Keeper knockoff voice aside, this is actually a really, really cool way to do the narrative. This whole rotoscoped frame exploring as part of the comic book thing. This is badass. Man, okay, Giant Sparrow has really outdone themselves. This feels really good. The Finches are a horrible, despicable, disturbed clan who all deserve to die. And you know what? That in itself is a fantastic story. But also, the delivery method for this narrative so far has been magnificent. They took us inside the mind of a serial killer with Molly. Now we're really getting that sort of horror movie vibe from this whole comic book thing. I feel a little bit like I'm reading Tales from the Crypt. If they just got Jack the Pumpkin Man to be full-on Crypt Keeper, the immersion would be complete. Rick's definitely dead in the basement, by the way.
Found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
He was cheating on her in the basement with another girl whom she was going to be forced to bludgeon to death with Rick's crutch. Okay. Oh, sweet, we can swing this bad boy. Also, it's doing weird things to my controller, which is on my desk and vibrating. I'm gonna move that. Okay, we gotta go around and start wrecking shop here, though. Yeah! Okay, we got to do this. Wait, are these beer cans? Before we knock them off, we got to know, are you beer cans? It looks like cans of Billy beer, the most delicious beer of all. Yeah, do it. There they go. Again, yeah. Get the shelves. Oh, yeah. Oh, send them flying. Barbara's wrecking shit. She's had enough. She knows Rick and that cheating bitch are down here, and this is going to be the last time that whore turns a man against his true love. Not again. Not again, little Shelly Smith, head cheerleader. Just because I work at the diner, you think it's okay to make fun of me, call me a has-been, call me washed up, then you steal my man? I'm gonna beat your ass, bitch. We'll see who's washed up when you got a crutch upside the head. I'm actually really enjoying just wandering around smashing shit. Also, if they're using the Friday the 13th music here, and they definitely are, by the way, listen. It's definitely the Friday the 13th music. If they can get away with that, why can't they get away with the full-on Crypt Keeper ripoff? Out of the way. Coming through. Get your shit out of here. You know, at this point, I really feel like it would have been easier to just pick the boxes up and stack them gently to the side. Rather than trying to batter my way through, it seems like it would have just been much easier.
The gang's leader
And less messy.
Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Well, was Dr. Carl Hamill married into the Finch clan? Did he marry, like, one of our other relatives from long ago? She was eaten by her own husband, the infamous Hookman. That seems like an appropriate fate for one of the Finch clan. Also, what the fuck is this? Apart from horrible, I mean, what is it? It's disturbing. So we're supposed to go this way. Nah, I want to bash some more stuff. Well, there's the table saw that did in old Grandpa Sven. Grandpa Sven, Ingeborg, was it Odin? No, I think it would have been, this would have been great Grandpa Sven. Smacking aside your wood putty! Oh, yeah! How you gonna fill in those holes now? What are you gonna do with those screw holes, huh? How you gonna cover up the nails? Oh, all your stain is gone, too. I'm wrecking your shit. Why am I doing this to Grandpa Sven? I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at... You know what? Now I feel bad. I'm sorry, Grandpa Sven. I didn't mean to ruin your wood shop. It's just my boyfriend's cheating on me. I'm having a real bad day. The girl he's cheating on with is like my serious rival at high school. We've got issues that go back for a while. This is just the most recent in a long slew of setbacks for me. And I lashed out. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I should have been the bigger person, but instead, well, what's done is done, Grandpa Finch. At this point, I can't unwreck your shop. So there's a dead man in it. Actually, probably what happened is our drunken brother locked himself into the basement refrigerator while looking for another fresh handle of cold gin. Yep.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was
Pretty
just
sure I
trying
broke
to
his nose.
scare you to help you find your scream.
Well,
Weren't you
I'm
supposed to
not
go,
scared.
"Oh, my nose," and then clutch it like Marcia?
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out. But she
Well, technically, she slammed the door in his face. I mean, he's still standing outside in the hallway.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
and
Nope.
She was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later.
Barbara! Walter?
Yes?
What's going on up there?
Oh, right, my little brother, who I'm ostensibly supposed to be babysitting and didn't leave alone upstairs with an open liquor cabinet.
You're dead, Walter.
You know, when you say you're dead, Walter, I have a very strong feeling that Walter's death is actually assured at this point. Walter is, in fact, dead. And we're going to get to find out how both Barbara and Walter died. Do I really need to... Well, this clock has got to go. Not because I'm angry at it or anything, just because of I was going to say a sense of decorum and taste, but apparently the one really ridiculously, offensively Art Deco thing in the house is the one thing I can't get rid of. Oh, slapping around the egg chair feels real good, though. Sorry, Northern Lion. You know, that's a Tiffany lamp. I can't in good conscience bring a crutch to this Tiffany lamp. It's just, no, we were going to need that. Again, we're the last scion of the Finch family. We can sell that shit. Those Tiffany lamps, you put that on eBay, that's like $2-3 grand minimum. I still hate those bluebirds. I do love that this is a completely faithful rebuild of the Finch household. The rotosculpting thing here, this has really blown me away. This is a phenomenal narrative tool right here. This is a really, really good effect. I'm digging it. Oh, hey, can we go in here? Because this person isn't... They shouldn't be dead yet. Also, which room is Walt... Oh, my roller skate. Walter put on my roller skates and accidentally skated off the balcony. Well, they've blocked this off with Halloween decorations. That doesn't make sense. When Grandpa was hurt a little bit earlier, he was actually in this hallway being rushed to the hospital. How did he get out of the house if he was barricaded in by Halloween decorations? What, he jump out the window? There's no way he jumped out the window because he's a Finch. If he'd have jumped out of the window, he would have died on the way to the ground. That's a given. He would have hit the ground and died on the way there. Also, Molly died well before Barbara, so this room should also be sealed. Because Molly was dead first. Walter Finch. Okay, well, this is Walter's room. Oh, this is the one that was painted in Wales, and actually, yeah. This is the whale room. This room wasn't even locked. We're on rails. We can only go to Walter's bed. We can only go to Walter's bed.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
You know, like a dude walking around in your house with a fucking hook for a hand.
Saw the hook man and
Got gutted like a fish?
yes, he was quite smashing.
Keep fighting. Oh, we did it.
And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another way out of here.
I don't know. I mean, this guy's our last true fan. Maybe we should open the door. Wait, what the hell? Are we seeing a vision of ourselves having locked the door? This is real weird. Alright, well, there's supposed to be... I'm going to assume that's some kind of glitch, maybe? Perhaps a vision of our haunted past? Only what would have happened. How would the story have been different if we didn't find a secret passage in this room and crawl through it? Because I can see the bottom of the frame of the next frame and the comic book page. I kind of know where this is going. Also, it's a way for us to further explore the Finch house. Oh, this is too fun, though. But Pete, there's a killer outside. You know what? He can fucking wait. Some things got to take a back seat in the name of fun. And slapping around one of these bobble clown doll. Yeah. This takes precedent. If you can't take a few moments out of a busy day to stop and smell the roses, it doesn't matter if there's a killer on the loose or if he's chasing you. Sometimes you just gotta stop and appreciate the finer moments in life, like slapping his shit out of one of these little plastic bobbling clown dummies. Also, we're supposed to go in here to Molly's room. Yeah. Ooh, good shot of Barbara's dumper there, though. Hey, Barbara, you got a sweet derriere there. She got a nice can, baby. Oh, well, she's back in Molly's room. Well, this problem is easily solved. All she has to do is summon the spirit of her ancestor, Molly, by going over to, I believe on the desk over here, reading her book. She can become the disturbed sea urchin thing and just find the killer and devour him whole. She'll be fine. Okay, we just got to go channel our inner monster, become the destroyer of worlds, and we can just swallow this killer whole. We got nothing to worry about.
Thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Oh, really? I mean, I'm sort of shockingly okay with it. Nope, because she couldn't do it because the railroad plot said, fuck no. So I guess we're going to do something stupid like try to go out of Molly's room. Yep.
Hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grown.
Oh, shit, the killer is onto us. Shut the door. Whack him. Whack him again. Tripped on a roller skate. Over the bow. Oh, he's dead as shit.
But she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Go down there and crush the skull with the... We gotta go down there and crush the skull. That's all there is to it. All right. Come on. Why are we walking so slow here, Barbara? You're in a hurry. What's your motivation? Not dying. I mean, normally for Hollywood actors and actresses, the motivation is a paycheck. In this case, though, your motivation is to not die. Yep, see, you took too long and you let the killer get back up. If you had just hurried, you could have smashed his skull by now.
She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
The doorbell? He's got to be in the egg chair. Oh, damn. Sorry, Northern Lion. This is going to be Rick at the door in the least surprising surprise twist since an M. Night Shyamalama ding-dong first wrote Sixth Sense.
Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering.
Maybe it's Walter?
From inside the house.
Oh, what a surprise. Sorry, that's the least surprising surprise twist of all time since The Sixth Sense.
Oh dear.
There are two killers, and one helped the other one up.
The monsters had come to surprise her. It was a
Okay.
dream come true.
Never mind. This is the worst
How
surprising surprise
kind
twist of all
monsters
time.
They were, and she realized what was about to happen.
She just murdered one of her best friends by throwing them over a balcony?
And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
One rip-roaring scream? So she got killed by the other Finches.
But I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night.
What a surprise.
And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time.
Well, if only it hadn't been a comic book panel where they definitely didn't draw him hiding under there, maybe I could have found him.
As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I
Huh.
call a real eerie tale.
Tune in next week after Dream On. It's the breast show on TV. Get it? Because they show naked women sometimes. Also, is that Barbara's ear? It's a drawing of Barbara's ear.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
You know, nobody in the Finch family has really had a happy ending. So, great-great-Aunt Barbara got torn apart by ravenous fans? For a one-hit wonder child actress who was in one movie and never really did anything else with her life, this seems stupefyingly unlikely. It'd be like if Macaulay Culkin went to Comic-Con and fans just decided they were going to tear him apart bodily. Home Alone was okay, but it wasn't really that. It's not rip a man apart with your bare hands good. I don't know. The more, again, subtly horrible, there definitely was something off about Barbara than, oh, Pete, are you trying to victim blame and say she invited her own destruction? Not necessarily, but I think we'll all agree that there's something a little odd about great-great-Aunt Barbara. Getting ripped apart by like a horde of bare-handed fans decades after your one noteworthy work? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. There was no mob that tore apart Macaulay in 2004. Nobody was ripping Danny Bonaducci apart back in the 80s. Scott Baio lived to survive to the ripe old age of 50s and pimp for Donald Trump. You got to think that in the 90s, 10 years after Charles in Charge ended, somebody would have torn him apart. After Happy Days was over, at a minimum, they would have ripped him to shreds. I don't know. I do know this episode is over. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Support really means a lot. If you'd like to see more of What Remains of Edith Finch, might consider subscribing as well. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for as long as it lasts. All I gotta say, I've really been enjoying what Giant Sparrow has put together here. This game, it's really good. It's really good, and the visuals on the comic book thing, fantastic. That was a brilliant chunk of little storytelling there. The story wasn't maybe the greatest we've ever seen, but the medium was fantastic. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.